High-quality matcha can cost up to $200 for just 100 grams. What makes this bright green powder so special, and why do people call it green gold? Matcha has been around for over 1,000 years and is deeply connected to Japanese culture and Zen Buddhism. In the 12th century, samurai warriors drank matcha before battles to help them stay focused and strong. The practice of drinking powdered tea was brought to Japan by a Zen monk named Eisai, who brought it from China. At first, matcha was used by monks during meditation to help them concentrate. Over time, the Japanese created their own way of growing and preparing this green tea powder, which led to the Japanese tea ceremony, a special tradition that celebrates the making and drinking of matcha. Today, matcha is loved not just for its cultural importance, but also for its health benefits and unique taste, making it a popular drink around the world. The first step in making matcha is shading the tea leaves before they are picked. In the middle of April, shading begins. As the new shoots grow, the tea plants are covered to block out some of the sunlight. This is often done using straw mats or black sheets, which help control how much light the plants get. Shading softens the sunlight on the young leaves, protecting them and helping them make more chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what gives matcha its bright green color and helps clean the body of toxins. Shading also helps increase the nutrients in the tea. The plants stay in the shade for 30 to 40 days. This long time in the shade is very important because it helps the leaves make more of the good stuff, like L-theanine, which gives matcha its rich flavor and reduces the bitterness that other green teas can have. Too much sunlight makes the leaves taste bitter, so keeping them shaded helps preserve their flavor and gives them a bright green color. Shading is usually done for about 3 weeks when making matcha. This also increases the amount of L-theanine, which helps you feel calm and balances the energy from the caffeine. Here we have 2 tea leaves. The one on the left has been shaded, and you can see how its color is different from the one on the right. In early May, when 5 to 6 new leaves have grown, the tea harvest begins. The tea is ready to be picked when the young shoots turn into thin, wide, and bright-colored leaves. Harvesting tea that has been grown in the shade usually starts about 10 days later than tea plants that aren't shaded. For the best quality matcha, the tea leaves are carefully picked by hand, one by one, to make sure they are perfect. Hand picking takes a lot of time and effort and needs skilled workers who know how to pick the best leaves. This careful selection ensures that only the softest and most flavorful leaves are used, keeping the matcha at the highest quality. Only the top 2 or 3 leaves of the tea plant are picked to make the finest matcha, which helps give it a smooth, sweet flavor. After the tea has been shaded, we're one step closer to understanding how matcha is made. When the tea plant starts to grow fresh green sprouts at the top, the farmer's real work begins. The farmer must then pick the top 2 or 3 leaves from the tea plant to make matcha. These top leaves are the youngest and are known for having a sweeter taste with less bitterness. After these leaves are picked, dried, and ground, they will become the finest matcha. The first step in preparing the leaves is steaming. This steaming, which is unique to Japanese green teas, lasts only about 10 to 20 seconds, but is very important to keep the leaves from turning brown and losing their green color and fresh flavor. Steaming locks in the flavor and keeps the bright green color. Most importantly, it stops the leaves from becoming black tea. During this quick steaming process, the action of enzymes in the leaves is stopped, which keeps the tea's natural green color and prevents it from darkening and changing in flavor. The fresh leaves are placed on a moving belt that takes them to a steam room. This quick steam, maybe 10 seconds, stops the leaves from turning brown and helps keep their green color. After steaming, the leaves go into a machine with 4 mesh tubes where they are quickly cooled by the wind. This fast cooling is important to keep the tea's delicate flavors, making sure the freshness and smell of the leaves stay intact before drying. This removes the water from the leaves and gets them ready for the next step, which is drying. The leaves then move slowly through a drying oven, losing almost all of their moisture. These dried, partly processed leaves are called araha. The leaves are then carefully packed and stored in cool, refrigerated places until they are needed. When it's time to make matcha, only the amount of these partly processed tea leaves that is needed is taken out. In the past, the leaves were stored in clay jars to keep them fresh for a long time. Modern methods have changed, but the goal is still the same: to keep the leaves fresh and full of flavor. In traditional Japanese tea making, these leaves were often stored in cool mountain areas or temples to keep them fresh, showing how valuable they were. The leaves are then chopped to a similar size. After that, machines separate the soft parts of the leaf from the stems and veins. This process is repeated many times until only the soft parts remain. The final product is called tencha, which is then ground into matcha. Once the tencha is ready, we are just one step away from finishing the matcha. The tencha leaves are placed into a stone mill and ground into a fine powder. Each stone mill, made from granite, must be used slowly and carefully to keep the matcha from getting too warm, which could affect its delicate flavors and smells. The grinding process is done very slowly, usually only about 30 grams per hour, to make sure the powder is very fine and keeps its bright color. The grinding room is kept at specific temperatures, with controlled humidity and limited light, to create the best conditions for grinding. Matcha is full of antioxidants, especially a type called EGCG, Epigallocatechin gallata, which is known for helping to fight cancer. Matcha also naturally boosts energy because it has both caffeine and L-theanine. This combination gives you a calm and focused energy without the jitters that coffee can cause. Additionally, matcha has been linked to better brain function, weight loss, and heart health. Drinking matcha regularly can also help cleanse the body, thanks to its high chlorophyll content, which helps remove toxins. Ceremonial-grade matcha is ground using a stone mill. It takes about 1 hour for this mill to produce 30 grams of this valuable matcha. Each stone mill is made by hand from granite, and keeping them in good shape requires special skills passed down through generations. Only skilled workers can properly maintain the stone mills. This traditional method grinds the tea leaves into a fine powder that keeps the nutrients intact, but it is very slow. The final matcha powder is so fine that it feels silky and dissolves completely in water without leaving any residue. This is a key feature of high-quality ceremonial-grade matcha. Because matcha is ground so finely, 1 serving of matcha is believed to have the same nutrients as drinking 10 cups of regular green tea. Can all tea plants be used to make matcha? Technically, any tea plant can be used, but to ensure the matcha tastes smooth and not bitter, special steps must be taken. The freshly ground matcha is then packed, sealed, and labeled for distribution. The result is a vibrant green tea that is sweet, savory, and full of caffeine and theanine, giving you a calm and focused energy throughout the day. Now that you know how matcha is made and why it can be expensive, we hope this guide has been helpful and maybe even made you appreciate your morning cup of matcha a bit more. Matcha's popularity keeps growing around the world. In 2024, the global matcha market is valued at about $3.84 billion, with estimates suggesting it could reach $5.78 billion by 2028. How do you like to enjoy your matcha? Pure or in a latte? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more tea tips and insights. See you in the next video.